Welcome, Vicky, to our day 3 of the longevity challenge. I would like to start this one with a meditation because we've done mind, we've done body, and now today we're doing spirit. So let us connect into spirit as we start this before we even start talking.
Sounds good.
Okay, so sitting really comfortably on your chair, feet fully on the floor. Just notice your feet on the floor, notice your sitting bones on the chair, and starting to do those 5-5 breaths, just focusing on the breath, bringing your focus to the breath. So breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And if you like, you can breathe out with a little bit of a sigh. And breathe in. And one more. Breathing in again. Noticing that expansion and feeling it contract again as you breathe out. And now focusing on grounding. You can imagine that there are roots growing down from your sitting bones, and imagine that root going down, 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 down into the ground, all the way down to the center of the earth, wrapping itself around the center of the earth and coming back. And as the roots come back, bringing all of the goodness from the earth into the body. So feeling the goodness of the earth coming up into the body and grounding you even more. And if you need to shift it around a little bit in your seat, you can do that just to feel that grounding. Feeling the sitting bones as if you were on the ground rather than on a chair right now. Feeling your feet firmly planted on the ground and those roots going down from the center of your body and from the feet. And breathing in the goodness of the earth, all of the nutrients the earth has to give you. Mother Earth has a lot to give. And breathing out. And I'm imagining a light coming up through the midline, all the way up, 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 right up to the heavens, going further, 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 and connecting with the heavens. Connecting with the divine. And feeling the love coming from the divine, coming down as light back into the crown chakra and into the body, accepting the unconditional love of God, the Creator. And pulling all that love into you, coming right from the heavens and down. Feeling that coming down as a light into your body and then filling up every cell in the body. Filling all the cells in the body until all the cells light up. Seeing your cells light up as if your cells are smiling. feeling loved, feeling unconditional love. See all of your cells in the body smiling, laughing, feeling joy, almost bouncing around, vibrating at a faster rate, feeling this love. And noticing all the areas between the cells as well. All the areas between the cells as well as the cells have this light almost wash over the cells, making them glow, making the whole body glow. All of those areas in between as well as all the cells. Your bloodstream, your lymphatic system, every organ in your body, all the hormones, all the neurotransmitters. Everything is firing, everything is lighting up, everything is glowing with the unconditional love of God. Really taking that in. And now settling into the heart. If it helps, you can place your hands on your heart and focusing on that heart love that you feel. Remember a moment where you felt immense love in your life. Maybe it was a moment when you were looking down at one of your children in your arms. Maybe it was a moment when you were playing with a favorite pet. Maybe it was a moment when one of your parents were looking adoringly at you. Maybe it was a moment with a friend, a really close friend, or a lover, a partner, a spouse. Feeling that love and just embracing that love. And let that fill your body right now. Breathing in that love and breathing out that love. As you experience the greatest love you've ever known, the greatest moment of love you've ever felt. Maybe it was a moment of oneness with all of mankind. Feeling that love, resting in that love, embracing that love. And allowing that to fill every cell of your body and light up every cell of your body. So now everything is vibrating even faster, even higher. And you start to feel such joy, a soft kind of joy because it's a loving joy. And now picture in front of you someone who has hurt you in this lifetime. Someone who did something to you that felt almost unforgivable. And make a choice that today you will choose to forgive this person for what they have done. If you've never forgiven them before, or even if you have, if there's one last little piece of resentment still sitting there, today is the day you're going to let go of that resentment. Because holding any unforgiveness in the system is like taking a poison that fills your body with all of the kind of things you do not want to have. And it fills your cells with that resentment. And it hurts you more than it hurts the other. They probably have let it go. Remember that love holds no grievances. Love is incapable of holding any grievances. And so you are going to let this grievance go now. And knowing that when you let all your grievances go, you are perfectly safe. It is safe to let go of your grievances. Resting in that unconditional love, knowing that you are capable of unconditional love. You are capable of being divine. And feeling a peace wash over you as you light up and let all grievances go. And now notice that your heart is vibrating really slowly. Your heart is beating slowly. Notice the love in your heart and start radiating that out into the world from every angle, from the front, from the sides, from the back, radiating your love right out into the world, into the room you're in, into the town you're in, into the county or province you're in, into the country you're in, further out into the whole world, and further than that, out into the universe, into the Milky Way, and beyond, further than you've ever been before, shining your love light out into the world, into every corner of the universe. Shining out, shining out, shining out, and let it rest on all those who may have felt your grievances in the past. Let your light shine right out. Letting it all go. Letting it all go. Shaking it out. You can shake your body a little bit just to shake out any last little bit from anywhere in your body, just shaking it all out. And now we're going to go back to our breathing and start extending our breath a little bit more. Breathing in for the count of 10. And breathing out for the count of 20. Just see how far you can go. Breathing in. And breathing out. And breathing in and out just to relax again. At your own pace, a couple of deep breaths in. And slowly coming back into the room. You might feel a little bit lightheaded. If you have some water in front of you, you can have a little sip. How are you doing?
I got a little dizzy.
It does make you a bit dizzy. Having something to drink really helps. So just a few
Ooh,
deep breaths just to come back, just to get your equilibrium back and grounding back again, grounding. You might want to shake a little bit out a bit again. It does make you a little bit heady.
yeah,
Whew. Okay. How did that feel for you? Were you able to let go of any resentment, or did you have any resentments to let go of?
I had a little bit of a hard time finding someone that I have not forgiven.
Isn't that amazing? How beautiful is that?
It's like searching like file storage, going through my head. I was like, nope, can't find anyone.
That
The
is,
people who sometimes irritate me, but I don't have any resentment for that. It's,
oh, that's amazing. So you're not holding any grievances.
I don't know. At least I couldn't find it at this point. Maybe if I spend more time focused
I don't
entirely
think
on this. No,
that's the goal. That is
yeah,
definitely not the goal. The goal is not to find a resentment. If somebody popped to mind, that's somebody you can work with. If something popped to mind, something that happened, but if there's nothing, if you've already worked with everything, then that is amazing. That is amazing. You don't want to really go searching very hard. It would be coming to mind straight away because you're like in your
yeah,
subconscious. So it would just pop to mind very quickly. You shouldn't have to, you shouldn't have to really search. You've obviously done a
to
lot of inner
search.
work. Yes, you have to search so hard for a resentment. That's amazing.
I think,
So forgiveness is the whole message of A Course in Miracles. The whole message is to create a miracle, is to forgive, is to realize that that person is you. That any
mm,
person who may have perpetrated anything against you or hurt you in any way is actually also you. We are all one, and forgiveness actually is not ever required because there is never anything to forgive.
hmm
But that is a really hard concept for most people to understand.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's- I think I have this since I was born. I mean, there would be situations and people that could irritate me, get annoyed, but I never in my entire life had the feeling of true resentment and like feeling betrayed or feeling like somebody did me wrong in any way. And when we talk with my husband, it's very hard for him to understand that because I can see there are people in his life that betrayed him, that he has an issue with letting go. I don't get that. I think it's just the way I was born. I never did something on purpose to work on that, but it comes naturally to me. Maybe in
That
some
is
past life I
amazing.
did a lot of work on that. I don't know.
Wow. Maybe you are a spiritual teacher and healer, and you haven't really owned that yet. Because that
Well,
is incredible to have that innately in you, to have just forgiveness just there, not even going there, not even holding any resentments. That's absolutely amazing. And what about if someone has hurt one of your children or hurt
ooh.
someone you love?
Mhm. I would usually separate the action from the person. If there was something about what they did, I'll try to understand what happened. So, we can remedy the situation. But I don't know. Touch wood, it hasn't happened in such a degree that would have me infuriated or having an excess amount of anger or resentment, or hasn't happened up to this
Amazing.
point.
So you're not calling it in, which is amazing. You're not open for that. You're just not allowing that. Some people you'll see they have so many things happen to them. They are angry and constantly angry. And then so many things are happening to them to make them angry as well. It's like they call it in from
Yeah,
having that energy of don't do it. It creates it.
yeah,
Whereas if
like
you have this energy of accepting and allowing, things don't happen,
yeah.
which is really interesting. But I must say, my husband was fostered by a family. His parents died when he was in his early teens. And at one stage, he was fostered by this family that was on a farm. And they had three daughters. And one day, the one daughter was walking home from school with a classmate, and he murdered her. My husband isn't quite sure how it happened. They were a very, very religious family, and they went into the court to meet the person who did this and to forgive him. They were able to forgive the perpetrator who actually killed one of their beautiful daughters. Can you imagine going through something like that and still having forgiveness in you? So he's often talked about that story because that really had an impact on his life, coming across a family like that and being in their lives and just seeing how they had this capacity to forgive. So I just thought I'd share that story because I've always had this belief system that it's very weird that we believe that you never kill, thou shalt not kill. It's a commandment in the Bible. And yet, when we send men into the army, we tell them, now you're allowed to kill. I don't have any understanding of that. Thou shalt not kill unless the government tells you, unless the queen tells you to. Now it's okay. If they're stealing our land, then you're allowed to kill. Now there's some reason why it's okay to kill. I
Mhm.
thought like a rule is a rule and it shouldn't ever be broken, especially one as big as that. So to me, that's never made any sense. So I've always felt like, yes, I can forgive, but what if somebody hurt my child? What if I became a mom and somebody came and hurt my child? Would I have the capacity to forgive them? And I hope that would never happen. Yeah, there have been times where my child has been hurt, like small ways, but something like that, to forgive something that big is, I think, takes immense love.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
courage, a
And
lot of
courage,
courage.
yeah. And a greater understanding than most of us can even imagine. So to me, the whole idea of mind, body, spirit, the spirit side to me is this idea of I am. And I am the divine, which means that this body is meaningless. The spirit is going to live on. And when we think about death, death is not the end. And I can only imagine that this is where they were coming from, is that that life wasn't all the life that their daughter had. Their daughter was going to this much greater life. Because if you believe, then you know that there is something so much greater on the other side. And so death isn't the end. It's not the end. We see death as the end because we're seeing with our limited vision that that is all there is. But there is so, so, so much more. And when I look at the work of Byron Katie, who wrote the book Loving What Is, she talks about how she was there for her mom when her mom was passing away and how she was able to just be present and to be available to her. And what she said is her mom lived far away from her. And so most of the time, her connection with her mom was just in her thoughts, or her connection with her mom was just on a phone call. It wasn't necessarily in her presence. And so when she moved on to the other world, it's the same thing. Anytime she had a thought about her mom, she could be there with her mom, enjoying her mom again, just like she did when she lived far away. And so that is really all death is just another place that we could go to. Yes, it's a place we're not going to get to until we also cross over ourselves. So it's not like another country or another town that we can go and visit, but we can always visit that person in our minds and in our hearts and in our soul. And I often am visiting my dad who passed away in my dreams. So in my dream time, I have amazing times with him. And he's well, he's healthy, and he's younger, and he's how he was in his best years with us. And I love those dreams. I love waking up from those dreams, and I feel like I've just had a great conversation with my dad. And to me, that is what the spirit journey is about, is that consciousness is everlasting. It's always here. And the consciousness of the person is everlasting. It's always here. It's inside us. It's around us. It's that whole idea of omniscient, omnipresent, etc. As God is with us, inside, outside, everywhere, our spirit is inside, outside, everywhere. And so is the spirit of everybody we know and have ever known, and our ancestors as well. We can call them in at any time,
Mm.
and future generations. There was a beautiful video that I watched recently about prayers and how our prayers reach out. It was somebody who had crossed over. It was on one of those channels about near-death experiences. So they had a near-death and they saw how all the prayers worked, and they saw them as kind of networks. And what they said in this video that was so powerful was that prayers that our ancestors made centuries ago are still at work in our lives today. And our prayers, any prayer that we can pray now, is still going out into the world and will continue to go out for generations to come. That prayers aren't just happening right now, that they are much, much, much more powerful than we can ever imagine.
That's fascinating. I've
Isn't that
never,
interesting? I will
yeah.
find it. I will find that video and I'll put the link up into the session so that
Yes,
people can access that, because it was fascinating to hear the story.
it is. I've never heard of prayers being, I do know they vibrate at a certain level of frequency, of energetic frequency, but it never occurred to me that they never go away, that they keep vibrating and they stay in this field that's all encompassing. And as you say, it's like a network. I would love to see more on
Oh,
this.
I'll definitely send you that. It's so interesting. Hearing about people's near-death experiences is a wonderful way to understand the spirit world and to understand who we are as spirit. And maybe what I should have done this morning is a meditation on I am, because I am is the two of the most powerful words in the world. And we are the divine. We are part of God. The way I see it is, if you had to look at the sun and there's all these sunbeams and all these little fractals of the sun, we are one of those fractals. We are part of the sun. We're part of God. And He wants us to shine our light, he, she, whatever we want to call God. I've always seen him as Father God, maybe because my father was also a minister and a carpenter, just like Jesus. And so I've always been very comfortable with calling him Father God and Mother Earth. But everyone has their own way of seeing things. And yeah, where was I going with that?
You were
Yeah.
saying about we shining our own light
Yeah,
into
so
this
we all
world.
shine our own light. We're shining God's light through us, but it comes in its own beautiful form. And that's what we're here for. I believe that if I had to choose what my purpose is in this world, my meaning in this world, it is to shine that light out and just shine it out so that others can feel it, so they can feel my gratitude, so that they can feel my love, so they can feel peace in my presence, that they can feel safe in my presence. Those would be the kind of things that I would want people to have, and grace, and to know that there is grace, because so many people are beating themselves up about so many things
Mm.
that they don't need to beat themselves up about. And I just want them to feel that grace, that they are fine,
Yeah.
that they are fine, and that they are here to shine the light, and that nothing else matters, that all of the things that they feel that they need to do and achieve and create are fantastic and wonderful, but they are not what makes them lovable. And, they just by being who they are makes them lovable already, just by
Yeah.
being.
Just,
just by being.
I think a lot, really, the majority of people need to hear this message because it's so hard. I don't know if it's all the culture and the environment that we grow up in that keeps telling us and teaching us that to be appreciated, to be loved, you need to do this, this, and this, and you need to be this, this, and this, and you have to be successful. You have to have a career, and you have to have whatever to be deserving of love and appreciation and appraisal, which is nonsense, which is
Yeah,
absolute nonsense. Yeah.
exactly.
We are what we are, and we are lovable and deserving the way we are. We don't have to prove anything.
Yeah, that's exactly what I believe. Yeah, that's exactly what I believe. I believe in the power of unconditional love. I believe that we don't have to push harder, that love is just our birthright. You and I are on the exact same page. No wonder we connected instantly.
Right?
Yeah. It's so interesting. Just like those prayers reach across, so that they say there's like this whole network of prayers and it creates all kinds of things. Just how we reached across LinkedIn and we found each other seemingly by chance, but nothing is by chance, right? It's by design.
Absolutely. Yeah. I tend to believe more and more in this with every single day. It's just when you let things unfold, you don't try to push them, you don't try to schedule them into your calendar, but just allow them to naturally get into this world. Just allow them. And you have a thought, okay, I'll go do it. You do it, and whatever happens. And that's exactly how some of the best things that have happened to me over the past couple of weeks and even few months, ever since I met you, by the way, that's when exactly I tuned into this way of being and doing things. Just amazing, amazing things are happening.
That is incredible. So I guess a nice little bit of homework, a nice little activity one can do after this is just to write down all the things that you are, as in I am, dot, dot, dot.
Mm.
I find that a very fun exercise. All the things I am.
That would be
And
a long list.
exactly, exactly. Now you can definitely add I am forgiveness to that list because you are, which is amazing. Absolutely beautiful. And of course, I am love. I am light. I am peace. I am beauty. I am joy. I am grace. I really like that one now. That one's
Yeah.
really landed for me today, is feeling that grace, just feeling that we can have that grace. One of the things my dad used to say at the end of the service, may the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm so grateful that I grew up in the church. It was a really soft place to
Mm.
grow up in. Felt really good.
Our family has never been religious, and it's not just our family. I think our whole country has a very low level of feeling called to go to sermons or services. We are Christians, but in a non-traditional way. We don't have weekly services. Maybe there are somewhere, and there are people going, but we would go to church only big holidays like Easter, Christmas. There was one on August 15th was called the Ascension of Mother Mary. I
Oh,
think other than that, we don't go to church very often.
mhm.
So I have never been into this atmosphere,
Mm.
and we've never been really religious. So that actually let me explore spirituality in many different ways. And it started with an interest in Buddhism when I was in my university years. But later on, a couple of years ago, we were in Thassos, the Greek island, and we were in this
Mhm.
small village that had a church very close to the place where we were staying. And I just went there out of curiosity just to see what it's like. And I entered this space. It was so dark and cozy and welcoming.
Mm.
There was no one in there, and there just candle lights and music playing, like
Oh,
men's Christian choir. They were all singing, of course, in Greek. I had no idea what they were singing about, but just the sound and the atmosphere was so fantastic. I could sit there for hours. I think I did sit there for at least half an hour, just being in the moment. It was beautiful. It was really beautiful. So,
yeah, that's exactly what a church should feel like. It should feel warm and welcoming and comforting. So it's not about the place. You do get these beautiful churches where it really is about the place, right? They have made them so beautiful that you just really want to be there. These gorgeous cathedrals, especially in Europe.
yeah.
But for me, there is a verse in the Bible that says, when two or more are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of them. For me, it is more about the people coming together. And since I've been an adult, I cannot go to church and not start crying. In every service, there's some song or another or some verse that hits me. Something happens and the tears start coming down. It's like my heart over the last few years, the more meditation I've done. So I wouldn't really consider myself orthodox religious either anymore because I've moved so far along my spiritual journey. Yes, I pray. Yes, I'm Christian. However, I've been on such a spiritual journey. For me, it's not about organized religion as such. It is more about just connecting together with the same goal of opening the heart
Mm.
and talking about hard things. So for me, today was church.
Oh, that's such a beautiful way to wrap it up and summarize everything that we touched on.
Yeah,
Today was
yeah.
church.
So this is my church, just sharing from the heart.
Yeah, I love that. And
Great.
I totally appreciate that.
Yeah, and thank you for being my plus one.
Of course.
Yeah, you're amazing.
Always happy to go to church with you.
Ah, yay, there we go. And I hope it felt warm and welcoming and inviting.
Yes, yes, it did.
Tomorrow
Definitely
we
did.
can light our own candles. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing you for tomorrow's session when we're going to talk about self-love. So
Sounds
it's a big one and
good.
relationships. So it's all about all of our relationships tomorrow. I know you've got really good relationships. I can tell you and your husband, you and your children, your family. And yeah, I think it's going to be a really fun chat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here again.
Absolutely. Of course.